All right, YouTube, the first thing you want to do is just start combing the client's hair. You know my client right here, he always get a high taper fade. But in this tutorial, I kind of like did his high taper fade a little bit differently than I usually do. But man, I'm telling you, man, stick around to the end. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, because I'm pretty sure you will love to subscribe to this channel after you watch this video right here. So let's just get into it. All right, guys, so I grab my Oster Octane and I put the 1.5 blade on them, and I go with the grain. I usually, you know what I'm saying, put my soft guards, but I feel that the 1.5 blade detachable, it feeds through the hair better because it lays it down more so better than the plastic guard. So yeah, so I just grabbed the 1.5 and I'm just going back over his hair. All right, guys, now when I was saying earlier I kind of like cut his taper a little different, I usually do my first initial guideline like a straight line, you know, from the tip of his vertical bar to the top of his ear. But I just want to go in like a triangle shape because, you know what I'm saying, I'm just trying to set myself separately away from other barbers. Now you might see a couple of barbers on YouTube do this like 360 Jeezy, but I'm not trying to be like 360 Jeezy. I just want to just start, you know what I'm saying, my haircut differently because, you know, in the town I live in, I'm trying to separate myself from them barbers because, you know, I just want everybody to know that, you know, I can fade any type of way, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter how you set your first initial guideline in. But with that being said, man, make sure you set your first initial guideline in real neat, because like I always say, once you start a haircut off neat, it will end neat. It might look funny now, but hey man, look, stick around to the end of the video and you wouldn't even notice that I started his, you know what I'm saying, first initial guideline like this, because it do look weird, but it's gonna come out fresh. All right, guys, I grabbed my Stylecraft Instinct Pro. I open the blade all the way up. Now I'm going up a finger's width, you know what I'm saying, to make my secondary primary initial guideline. What I mean by that, man, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna start to see a little stubble hairs and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and start in my fading section after I make the secondary primary initial guideline, because I don't want to just do the steps like as usual. You know, some people, you know, open their clippers up and then they move on to the next guard and then they start their fade down process. Now that's good, don't get me wrong, but me personally, I feel that, you know what I'm saying, you doing too much with that part right there. So why not just work in the section that you start off with, so you won't have to do nothing but do like cleanup work at the end of the haircut process? Because I feel that I'd be working against myself if I was to do the steps with the guards and then do the fade them down process. But you know, everybody had their differences of how they cut hair. But at the end of the day, I gave him his time, and you know what I'm saying, we made it happen. All right, guys, I just closed the blade like 2 notches from being open or 2 notches from being closed. Now I'm just actually, you know, using the corner of my blades because, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I'm in my fading process. So this area right here, make sure, you know what I'm saying, you fade this out before you presumably move on to the next part, because, you know what I'm saying, this is the most important part right here. See, this right here is actually helping me knock out my detail work, so I won't have to do too much at the end of the haircut process on this side. All right, guys, so I come back with my 1.5 detachable blade. What I'm gonna start doing from now on, or every now and then, I'm gonna start using my 1.5 detachable blade to make my, you know what I'm saying, my blend section, because I can see my blend section pop out more so if I was to use this blade, because the plastic guard, if I was to put the plastic guard on my Stylecraft Instinct Pro, you can't see this area that I'm making with my, you know, detachable blade. So it's like the blade will take off what you want, you know what I'm saying? So you can see that area that you need to work in, more so than putting the plastic guards on, because the plastic guard is actually feathering that. So the blade cutting through, so you can actually see where you need to start, you know what I'm saying, your blending process. I mean, if you don't understand what I'm saying, man, like I always say, this is YouTube. You can always rewind it and kind of fill in what I'm talking about. All right, guys. Now this is my number one plastic guard. Now, what I was just telling you about the 1.5, the section that I told you that the blade would take off, I could have used that guard right there and open it, but it wouldn't take off what I want to take off. So I'm just gonna start using my plastic guard along with my detachable blade. I'm gonna team them up. But what I'm doing now, I closed the one guard and I'm just working underneath the 1.5 detachable blade area because it's easier to soften up that guideline, because you know what I'm saying, like I said at first, that 1.5 detachable blade took off what I wanted to take off. Now the guard is actually feathering that 1.5 detachable blade. See, it's doing the work for me because I don't have to force myself to do what I wanted to do. So you can see the fade is starting to take effect because I'm compressing the fade and the blend together because I just want that to be as one. All right, guys, now I take my zero guard and I'm gonna put on my Stylecraft Instinct Pro. Now I'm about to soften up that one closed area because I'm ready to blend the fade and the blending section together. Now I'm about to compress this fade, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm ready to bring this together because I'm pretty sure that you guys are excited to see how the outcome gonna look because how I said how differently I'm gonna start cutting his hair. But always working them in different areas and use different sides of the guards because right now I'm just only using the corners of them. But I don't want to use the whole guard because I'm just trying to actually focus on the side that I'm just working on. So you might see me kind of go in an X motion at certain times. But this is actually a little detail work along with, a little detail work because, you don't want to put in too much detail because like I always say, you will take away from the haircut. And then I open my guard up 2 times. Now I'm working a little bit higher up with that one closed and that one open. It's kind of hard to understand how I'm saying it, but rewind it, you'll get what I'm saying. But anyway, you want to always use the corners. But with the zero guard, open 2 notches, I'm just actually feathering out that one open area. But you know what I'm saying? There's always detail behind detail. All right now, guys, I take my 1.5 plastic guard, I open them. Now I'm going over the 1.5 blade section that I made the blending section out of. So I'm working in my blending section right now. I'm done with the fade section, but my blending section need to be a little bit, touched up. So I grab my 1.5 plastic guard, and as you notice, I'm kind of just going over the same area because I'm ready, try to buff that fade and make it pop out. And then I turn around and close them. Now, when I close my 1.5 plastic guard, I'm actually using the corners of the guards, to feed into that 1.5 detachable blade area. Now I'm doing a little detail work in that little blending section right there because I'm almost done with this side. So I take my number 1 guard and I'm just actually adjusting when needed because I see a couple of dark areas that I need to take out before I start on the other side. All right, guys, this side is exactly like the other side. And I want you guys to notice that I left that vertical bar there for a reason because I want that area to be dark. But you want to do the same thing on this side as you did on the other side. After you make your first initial guideline, then you're going to work in that primary section right there. Now, like I said, I always close my clippers twice and, just work my corners until I start to, blend out that fading section. And it's actually a repetitive, cut. Whatever you do on one side, you do it on the other side. That's all. And make sure, you just make sure that your work is neat. And now I grab the 1.5 detachable blade, and now I'm making that blending section pop out because I'm trying to store my, you know what I'm saying, blending section within that area. Then I'm gonna grab the number 1 plastic guard, and I'm gonna close them and work that 1.5 detachable blade area out. And you know, it's gonna pretty much, you know, I'm pretty much duplicating this side along with the other side because, you know, I don't want no mismatching taper. So I'm just trying to make this side as, you know, I'm trying to make it better than the other side, because everybody hair I cut, or any barber can tell you this right here. That's always a hard side of a fade and an easy side of a fade. But I'm just trying to, you know, duplicate this side as well as the other side. So let's just get into it until we get up on the edge up part. All right, YouTube family, look, I had a little problem. I had stopped the recording, and because I had sprayed some Tresemme 5 on this hair, volume 5 on this hair, and I forgot to start back pushing recording during the lineup process. So I actually started started edging his hair up without even pushing record on the video. And I kind of like looked back and I was like, oh man, I forgot to push record while I supposed to been edged them up, because I had stopped it previously for the spray, you know, Tresemme volume 5 on this edge up. But I'm glad I started back recording so you guys can see the outcome of how the edge up look. But I want you guys to notice how that blend is taking effect and everything. And this just only the beginning of my haircuts, man. I'm just gonna start trending this type of haircut right here. If anybody want a high taper fade or a burst taper fade, I'm your guy to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? So let's just get into this last ending of the haircut process. And if, like I said earlier, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. But with further ado, let's get into this video. All right, YouTube, it's our decision of what we want our outcome to be at the end of the day. But I put my boy in the game and everything. So big shout out to Ace for pulling up, man, because you know what I'm saying, I told him I was going to lock him in. He came in looking like this right here, but it ended up looking like this right here when he left out. But big shout out to my boy. And man, look, I'm gonna start doing all my tapers like this, man, you know, just for people that want it like this. That's why I'm sharing my video, so you can already know how your boy Black Prince the Barber get down. But with that being said, man, check out that edge up, check out that blend, check out that fade, check out the haircut period, man. But with that being said, man, it's your boy Black Prince the Barber, and may God bless.